let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go, 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 go! Six! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Yeah. Get ready for a wild ride on this Thursday, everybody, and welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Thank you for tuning in this morning. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, good to have you here. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like and start leaving your comments. Good morning, Ross Peterson. How's it going there, buddy?
I'm good. You say buckle up for a Thursday. What's going on? What's going on in your world?
I mean, here we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Then at 7 o'clock, Todd Stepsis from Northern Iowa going to be joining us. Of course, the Panthers getting ready to kick off the season on Saturday against Butler, which will be a familiar program for Todd Stepsis, going from Drake to UNI, but because they played Butler when he was at Drake. So kind of a fresh look for Northern Iowa. Then we got Bruno at 7:30 and just all sorts of stuff going on. You know, nice. It's the busy time of year,
dude.
Say.
Yeah. The shows are kind of like, I don't get to do the silly stuff anymore. Now we have to do real stuff. We have to talk.
Oh no, we'll be silly. We'll be silly.
Drake kicks off the football season tonight here in Central Iowa.
6:30 at Drake Stadium. Taking on Upper Iowa with the Peacocks.
Nice.
What's a peacock sound like? What is that?
I don't see. I feel like when you do a peacock noise, you should go. Don't you just say the name?
I don't. Yeah, but it
kind of like
makes
with a motorcycle.
Sound.
If you're gonna make a motorcycle name, just there's that old joke. You just do the name of the bike. Yeah, that was basically Yamaha. Yamaha.
I don't know, and I got a pretty bassy voice. I don't think I can get as deep for a Harley. I don't think I can do a Harley.
Harley.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's an idling Harley, is what it is.
Yes, yeah.
But
the peacock. Charlie says they just shriek, just a shrieking noise.
Here.
That sounded pretty good. That sounded pretty good. That was the best peacock we're going to get today.
You think so?
Yeah.
If you have a peacock sound, go ahead and just call 515-517-2303.
Any animal. You want to, we won't restrict you to farm, zoo,
wilderness.
I had an interesting conversation last night. I've brought this up to you before. It's funny how you have these memories as kids, and then like later on in life, you're like, man, was that a dream? I remember going to on the east side one day. I should call my dad. I remember this. Dude, we're going over to the east side, and we go to this like tiny little 2-bedroom, 800 square foot house. Go down in the basement, and a dude had a tiger in his basement.
Like a big tiger or a baby tiger?
A tiger.
This was a movie, right? With Bradley Cooper and everybody. Like Mike Tyson had the tiger in his apartment in Vegas.
I'm not kidding you, dude. I remember this. I have this vague memory of my dad. I'm probably like 7, 8 years old.
Hold on, I gotta ask you a question. Just between you and me. Can I
yeah. Fire away.
Come on in. Let me ask you a question.
Just us girls here. What's up?
Just the girls here. Did you do acid last night?
No, I didn't. No, I told you. I wasn't feeling good last night. That's a good question, though.
Did you take some NyQuil? NyQuil gives me the hallucinations, right?
I was having this conversation with my buddy Danny Dare the other day. We were sitting outside of wrestling practice, and we were talking about these things we remember as kids. And he was like, man, you have these memories where, they seem so vivid, but in your head, you're like, there's no way that's possible. Guy had a tiger in his basement, full grown in Des Moines, like right in the heart of town. I'm gonna ask about it.
You should, because that's something that
Dude,
would be a vivid memory that would stick in your brain for a long, long time, my friend.
We're just gonna fire a text off to Dad and Brad here and see if anybody can confirm or deny.
Your brother Brad's rolling his eyes right now, going, "What the hell is Ross talking?"
No,
about?
we've talked about this, and I even feel like Brad was like, "Yeah, I kind of remember this."
A tiger. Where do you even get a tiger? Where do you say, "Hey, I'm going to bring a tiger into the house"?
Tiger King.
Yeah, but even those tigers were in cages. Was there like one of these makeshift petting zoos or zoos on the east side? This is so east side. This is so east side. Go down to Johnny's. He's got a tiger in the basement. Was his name Tony? Ross is waiting for the reply already. I had an interesting night last night where you were, having your vivid dreams. I never had to work a room so hard last night, Ross.
Oh, dude, what was it for?
The Heart Ministry Center, which is it's an amazing organization in Omaha where it started as a food pantry. They served over 4 million pounds of food last year. They serve 4,000 people a week. They give free health care, free dental care to people in the neighborhood who can't afford it. They have a laundromat for people who can't do their laundry. They have a fresh start program for people that are either, seriously addicted coming out of that or getting out of prison to get them back, into society. It's a marvelous organization. But I served as the MC and the auctioneer last night. And it was a great room, and I was tasked with a challenge that I've never been tasked with before. We started to raise the paddle at $25,000, so we got a couple $25,000 bids, got a couple $10,000 bids. Then we had a match at the $5,000 bid, so we had a foundation match up to $25,000. So I needed to get $5,000 bids to match that. And then, but that was just up to. So if you only got 2, they were going to match it at 10 or whatever. Then we had an anonymous donor, and I don't care how big your room is, this is hard. Match $100,000 on the $1,000 bids, but the caveat was we had to get 100 $1,000 bids. We got 114. We hit it. It was difficult, but man, I was working the room as hard as I could get. And it gives you a sense of accomplishment, but you're like, okay, folks, here's the deal. We got a match at 100,000, but we need to get to 100,000.
Yeah.
We got the first round. We got I went through it. I got done with the whole room. We were at 75 without begging, which was pretty good. I'm like, okay, we got 25 more to go. And kind of slow. Then once we got to 90, boom, that last 10, and then people gave even more after that. But raised about $1.2 million last night for our Heart Ministry Center, which is super, super cool. And I like doing that stuff. I like emceeing. I like auctioneering. It's fun. And when it goes to a good cause, it's even better. Even better.
Dude, you do a lot of that stuff, Travis.
I do about 25 a year. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's one every other week.
My schedule on the weekends are pretty booked. And of course, last night, this was in Omaha. It's normally on a Thursday night, but see, they were smart. Nebraska plays tonight, right? Nebraska plays tonight. And they're like,
forget about this.
They go, hey, we're going to move this to a Wednesday. Everybody's like, why? Nebraska's in Kansas City playing at Arrowhead Stadium. Oh, good idea. Because half that room is going to be in Kansas City tonight.
Yeah.
As
I heard this thing, Travis, you can probably attest. You can speak to this a hell of a lot more than I can. I heard this thing yesterday about how Nebraska fans that travel are not the same fans that are in Lincoln.
I guess
basically saying the fans that travel are wild, and not in a. It wasn't like, oh my God, look out, they're coming to town. I've been in communities where Nebraska was playing. I don't remember where that. I remember one time Grandview was playing, I think in the Chicago area, and Northwestern was playing Nebraska, because we were in a hotel with a bunch of Nebraska fans. We didn't buy a drink all night. They were super friendly.
Let me ask you this. Can't you say that about any fan base that travels? Your normal one.
That's a good point, yeah.
And the truth is, again, Nebraska fans travel well, okay? They travel well. We've seen them take over stadiums, all that stuff. But I think if you are a fan of Iowa, if you're a fan of Iowa State, if you're a fan of Wisconsin, Illinois, Nebraska, whatever, if you make the investment, and we're talking you travel probably to most games, you're a different cat anyway.
That's a terrific point. Dude, you go at a bowl game, that's a different feel and group. Hell, it can be the same bodies. Everybody's in a different mood.
And I think the reason I think they're different, like you said, you didn't buy a drink all night. I think what happens is, to a traveling group, you seem to be more respectful. You'll get your douchebags who, want to go in but for the most part, if you're traveling on a regular basis, you respect the customs, you respect the place you're going, and you want to leave a good mark saying, hey, those guys were fun.
Yeah, you want to represent more than yourself.
Yeah.
You always are. You're always representing something else.
Now, hey, you're gonna wear your colors, you're gonna be proud of where you're from, but for the most part, you're gonna go in and say, hey, let's leave a good mark here. Not everybody does it, but if you do it on a regular basis, you kind of get that reputation. So I don't know if there's a bad traveling fan base. I'm sure there, when Alabama goes to Auburn or Auburn goes to Alabama, I'm sure that's a little different story.
Yeah, right. I'm sure there are rivalries that's probably the best one to use.
Yeah. Now, Nebraska, go ahead.
I was just no. Let's stay on Nebraska. Sorry.
Well, Nebraska kicks off tonight, 8:00 start. That's going to be a really late game. That game's going to get over probably about 11:30 or midnight. Ross, I'm going to ask you this. We talked a little bit about Nebraska yesterday, and I think we have a lot. Believe it or not, we have a lot of Husker fans that listen to this show. There are a lot of Husker fans in Central Iowa. There's and we go beyond Central Iowa now with the wonderful thing called the internet. I've been around Nebraska football for the last 30 years of my life. All right, almost 40 years of my life. Really, my entire life growing up in Western Iowa, you were inundated with it. The reason I became an Iowa fan is because all I got was inundated with Nebraska stuff. Then I started covering the team. I covered the team during its heyday. I covered the team during its downfall. Is Nebraska a sleeping giant? Now, they've been down for 25 years, okay? And a lot of people in Central Iowa have made fun of Nebraska, have taken great joy in their downfall because there are arrogant fans. And listen, rightfully so. I mean, some of their fan base is extremely arrogant and entitled. But when I say sleeping giant, I don't mean just on the field. Just hear me out before
I'm ready. I'm curious. That my first question was going to be, what do you mean by sleeping giant?
Well, yeah, what I mean is the sleeping giant is they have everything in place. I would say they probably have the best facilities in the Big Ten Conference after what they built. They have a fan base that is absolutely loyal and wanting something, and they are stocked full of cash. When I tell you they're stocked full of cash, money's no issue over there. It's just it's not an issue. The only thing that's keeping them from the next level is winning again.
There we go. Okay. I think you just got to it. Because when you say sleeping giant, the only thing that hasn't been there is the winning. That's it. Like when you say the fan base, the every year Nebraska fans are standing on the sideline telling us how great they're going to be. So they were never sleeping. The facilities are the best in the Big Ten. I'll take your word on that. I won't push back on that. That's not sleeping. Like you could say on facilities, is Northwestern a sleeping giant? Wouldn't they have a ton of money? Couldn't they come out of nowhere and surprise everybody with a bunch of new facilities? Or who would be a fan base that's a sleeping giant? Meaning we don't hear from them right now. They don't show up, but they're there. Maybe like a Purdue type of thing.
I think the difference is when you compare the two, Nebraska and Northwestern, right? Nebraska's always, it doesn't matter how bad they're going to be, they're always in the conversation.
And that's why I'm saying, when you say sleeping giant, I don't think of Nebraska as they just haven't been winning. But but sleeping giant to me implies more. Implies that we're not. I think that they're getting the right sort of credit. They're getting the right sort of respect right now. I really do. Most prognosticators are saying this could be a 9-10 win football team. 8 is the minimum. If Matt Rule doesn't walk out of this season with 8 wins, he's going to be in trouble.
I would agree with not in trouble, but people will be. Are you the right
It
guy?
will start. The needle will move because that would mean you go through that schedule like we did yesterday. Going 7-5 means you lost a game you were not supposed to lose, and we're at that point now in year 3 with the expectations that that's fair. I would not call Nebraska a sleeping giant.
Okay.
And for all of those reasons, the only thing they haven't done is win. Other than that, they've got everything in place, and the winning this year. Prepare yourself, Nebraska fan. I'm not being mean here. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. You will be called the fake ID of college football. Your schedule sucks. Just embrace it. You can only play the teams that they gave you to play. Go win those games.
Do what Iowa did back in 2015.
Exactly. Let everybody come after you and talk about how crappy you are while you're playing in January. That's totally fine. But be ready for that because that's going to happen because your schedule does suck. You got 2 good teams on there. 2 great teams. No, 1 great team in Penn State. And then you play Michigan, but that's at home. Play at Minnesota, host Iowa. So that's my take on Nebraska, is that right now I think they're going to be a contender in the Big Ten. I think they're probably going to be a 9-10 win football team. It doesn't seem to me like it's like, whoa, where'd this come from? There's not an Indiana type of thing here.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We all kind of see it coming. We've seen the progression. And again, Nebraska fans, this is not me. I'm done rooting against Nebraska. I really am. I was anti-Scott Frost. I like Matt Rule. I got a lot of Nebraska fans. I like to see them happy on Saturdays. I hope they win most of their games until they play the Hawks. But prepare yourself. You have to win before you keep telling people how good you are.
And that's why tonight is a lot of people are going to be glued in tonight just to see Dylan Raiola. And I think the difference between Nebraska this year, if Nebraska wins this year, Ross, obviously Matt Rule is going to get the credit. But to me, it's an Iowa guy that's going to turn this team around, and it's going to be Dana Holgorsen. People forget that Dana Holgorsen is, he's out of that Mike Leach realm of thinking, and of course played at Iowa Wesleyan, coached at Iowa Wesleyan. He took over as offensive coordinator the last 3 games of last year. You give him a full spring, you give him a full fall, and I think that offense changes tremendously. Like any football team out there, Nebraska's dependent on its offensive line. I mean, we say that about Iowa, we say it about Iowa State. The offensive line is going to be the key to what this offense can do. And there's a new defensive coordinator. So there are some switches, but here's what I worry about, because I'm in the thick of it. I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah, you are.
And that is this. If they do win, don't act like it's the last 25 years didn't happen. Be a little humble. Enjoy it. Don't come back and go, we're back, baby. We're Nebraska, because that's a dangerous road to go down.
People that aren't in Omaha and people that aren't Nebraska fans have a completely different take. All right. And one of those takes that is very common around college football fans that aren't Nebraska fans or don't live in Omaha is shut up about your quarterbacks. How many decades have we heard, oh, you don't even know. You guys, you've never seen a guy like Taylor Martinez.
Tommy Armstrong.
You've never seen a quarterback like Tommy Armstrong, guys. It's unbelievable. You've never seen a quarterback like McCaffrey. You've never seen a guy. We got Brock Purdy's brother.
McCaffrey. Oh, my God.
We got Brock
Purdy's brother.
We got Brock Purdy's brother, guys. Who are you? What are you guys even doing? Are you even recruiting quarterbacks? Every year, this is what we get from Nebraska fans, from Omaha. We get, oh, my God. You aren't even going to believe it.
Now, I'm going to fall into the trap a little bit. Dylan Raiola is a pretty darn good quarterback.
Dude,
but he's got to go out and win football games. Right?
They're all good quarterbacks. They're all good quarterbacks.
I don't know if Brock Purdy's brother was a very good quarterback.
He played at Nebraska. Got a scholarship to play at Nebraska.
He started at Florida State, then he went to Nebraska, he's been all around.
You got to be good to have 5 different coaches say, I want you. Now, there's other things happening there, obviously, also. But this is the thing. This is part of the thing of like, Nebraska's a sleeping giant. No, that you can't be a sleeping giant when you've constantly been telling people how amazing you're going to be. That's not sleeping.
It was earlier in the comments, and it's like Nebraska's basically the Cowboys. I mean, if you think of it, the Cowboys every single year, is this going to be the year for the Cowboys? There's so much expectation of the Cowboys. Cowboys haven't lived up to it since Barry Switzer won their last Super Bowl. But it's every year, it's like...
Wait a minute. Is that a real statement?
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys' last Super Bowl was Barry Switzer?
Barry Switzer was the head coach. It was the year after Jimmy Johnson. It was one of those, that team's still together. You're going to win with Barry Switzer. Barry Switzer has a Super Bowl title.
Barry Switzer was an interesting cat, dude.
Yeah, but he's
still around?
Yeah, he's still around.
Is he?
Still with us.
That's a fun name.
But he's cut out of that Dan McCarney mold. What I mean is personable. You listen to him, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like intense.
Yes.
Pictures of him burn. You look at a picture, you're like, oh, I think that guy's going to kick my ass.
I'm trying to think, are there other franchise, we mentioned the Dallas Cowboys, and I think Nebraska falls into that, into the college game, just because it's been 25. Are there any other franchises, or is it only football? Is there a baseball team that we think, but I think the Yankees have those, but they do win, right? They get to the playoffs.
That's a good question. Yeah. I think it would in baseball it would be the Yankees.
Lakers for the NBA.
I mean, Yanks haven't won one since what, 2009?
Has it been that long? Man.
Yankees World Series titles, 2009.
I think the Lakers fall into that.
Didn't Lakers win one not long ago?
Yeah, but I think the expectation year after year is that the Lakers are supposed to be good.
That's a good point. Yeah, they won one in 2020, but that doesn't count. That's the COVID year.
Yeah, with nobody there, locked in some compound down in Florida.
I guess Lakers. Celtics are just the classic ones from when we were kids.
Yeah.
Right now, I think that people would say Golden State.
For a generation, yeah. Yep. You're right. Wouldn't disagree with you.
Man, there's just so much parity. The NBA, there seems to be a lot more. It's hard to find a team that's considered great that isn't great.
Well, and that's why I look at college football. I mean, I think with the day and age of NIL and transfer portal and the way things are going, and I don't want to make an absolute statement because I know what you feel about absolute statements, but I sit here and do an analysis, go, are we ever going to see a Nebraska of the 90s again? Are we ever going to see a USC of the early 2000s? Are we ever going to see an Alabama of the mid, are we going to see a dominant team that rolls off, 2, 3, 4 national championships and then is still in the mix year after year? It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do in today's day and age. That's you bring up Nick Saban. Why didn't you want to pay players? Because he was able to keep that program on top.
He knew that we've got the system rigged. We got it figured out. No, Travis, my gut says no. That it's become such an open arms race. It's become such an open arms race that when a Texas A&M starts to pay $1 bajillion, a Miami steps up and pays $1 bajillion. A Florida State starts to and it's just going to go like this over and over and over. And I think that in college specifically, I mean, dude, we've got teams like Memphis showing up with millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars.
You're forgetting the big one, SMU.
Right. So I'm saying there's so many that you can throw into the big pool. So, like, let's say that there's an Alabama that comes out, or, Nebraska. Matt Rule figures it out. And all of a sudden, Nebraska has this amazing run. Dude, Ohio State's coming. Michigan's coming. Penn State's coming. And that's just in your conference. They've all got the resources to do it. They've all got, so my gut says no. Because as soon as Alabama or Nebraska or Team X starts to have that amazing success, all those other teams are going to show up to those superstars with more money.
Yeah, if you think that the salary cap is really going to be $20.5 million.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah. Like Jay said, Alabama had McDonald's bags full of money.
I kind of like those days, though. It made it a lot simpler than going through, a clearinghouse and all this stuff. And this is diverting. The NCAA now is considering, Ross, having high school kids okay their deals like in their junior years to make sure that they're in the clear, and same with junior college players. Listen, you're not playing for Division I school yet. I don't think you should have to go through the clearinghouse until you were signed, sealed, and delivered to go to said school. Then you have to clear your deal. What you do in high school, if your state allows it, what you do in JUCO, it's not on anybody else. I don't think the NCAA gets, or the college football playoff committee or whatever it's called now, should have to okay an NIL deal of a high school kid or a JUCO player.
Have we heard anything lately about Deloitte and what the numbers are saying?
I haven't. Now, when I was sitting with Dylan Raiola at the Tyler Childers concert, name drop, I just asked him, I said, have any Nebraska players been turned down for NIL? And he told me nobody. Because Brett Bloom had said that he'd heard like an 80% had been kicked out. Dylan Raiola tells me nobody in Nebraska was turned down for their NIL deals. And maybe it's the way you structured it. Maybe it's the way you go about it. I don't know.
And maybe he just said that because he did. I mean, maybe he
doesn't want
doesn't
to give me real information,
or doesn't know about them being denied.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's something that you'd brag about in the locker room. Like, oh man, I'm not going to get paid. I just tried to do a quick Google search to see if I could find anything about the number of deals they've denied or anything. The latest thing I could find was actually from back in early July. So that's.
I would say this, Ross, where we're at right now, if deals were not going through, we would hear about them.
I think so. I think there would be more of a stink being raised,
yeah.
More flags going up.
Yeah. So again, Nebraska kicks off tonight at 8:00. They take on Cincinnati. A game both Iowa State fan bases should be interested in watching because you've got a Big Ten team and you've got a Big 12 team. And it's the best game of the night. There's other games tonight, but this is by far the best game.
I had the schedule up here. There's a couple of them that, again, we went through this yesterday. Boise State kicks off the night at 4:30. They're a top 25 team. And
they're
really
at South Florida, right?
They're at South Florida, and Vegas has that as pretty much the closest game of the night. That's a 5.5 point spread. Boise's favored. Any other top 25 teams in action? Nebraska is not ranked in the top 25. Again, we mentioned Minnesota hosts Buffalo. Oklahoma State hosts UT Martin. Missouri hosts Central Arkansas. I mean, a couple games that'll make
you got big, but as far as games you want to watch with two Power 4 programs, that would be the one that's it.
How about this? Nebraska at Cincinnati kicks off at 8:00, but another Big Ten team kicks off at 8:00 that might have just as much interest, just on the opposite end of the telescope. Wisconsin kicks off with Miami of Ohio at 8:00 on BTN.
Wow.
Did you see the video that was posted yesterday of all of the Big Ten coaches? They were asked by the Big Ten Network, one of those things where they go clip to clip of all the coaches.
What's your favorite color?
Red. Well, this one was a good one. If you could bring back one player from the history of your program to be on the team this year, who would it be? That's a fun question. Kirk Ferentz picked Bob Sanders. Dude, I want you to watch the video. Luke Fickell looks like a high school, you know how your high school gym teacher would wear the suit one day a year and you'd be like, oh, check it out. The gym teacher's in a suit. He doesn't look normal. He doesn't look
doesn't feel comfortable.
He doesn't look comfortable at all. The ties, he's even looking like, dude, that's Luke Fickell. All the other coaches are polished, ties looking good, and you know how much I hate the tie thing. I hate that. It's got to look just right. Otherwise you look like a doofus. Well, Luke Fickell looks like a doofus. He looks like an absolute doofus. Ties undone, his shirt, looks like they were tussling before they started.
Dude, I've said this before, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's his last year at Wisconsin.
It reeks of that. Even the video, like the 5 seconds he's on the screen going, I'm not sure who I'd pick from.
Don't be surprised if Luke Fickell gets fired at Cincinnati or at Wisconsin, returns to Cincinnati because Satterfield gets fired after a bad third year himself. Just go back, kind of like Scott Frost going back to UCF. Luke Fickell's just going to go back to Cincinnati.
Who's the other guy that we talk about a lot? Bobby Petrino. Didn't he end up back at Louisville?
No, well, yeah, he went. Yeah, he ended up back at Louisville, and then, of course, now he's back at Arkansas, just not as head coach, but he's the offensive coordinator.
Well, that's
the incestuous profession that is coaching. We mentioned these games tonight, and Nebraska is one of those games on our college football pick'em pool. If you haven't joined, we got a lot of people signed up. We had a lot of entries yesterday. You still have time to get signed up. Go to therushradio.com. That's therushradio.com. Click on the promotions tab, and there's a link right there. You can sign up. It's absolutely free. You're going to pick 5 games, and we're just going to keep score throughout the season. But you got to get your picks in. If you haven't made your picks, please do so. But the Nebraska-Cincinnati game is one of those games, so you want to get those picks in tonight if you get signed up. And please do get signed up. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on therushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Brendan Santone, sales manager at Willis Cadillac, here with you in August, getting ready for back to school time, state fair. They have all kinds of great specials going on this month. Quite a few lease specials. EVs still have the EV tax credit through the end of September. Have quite a few to pick from. IQs, Optics, Lyrics, and the all-new Vistic as well. Stop out and see us over on 100th Street in Clive, or visit us online at williscadillac.com.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
All right, we got confirmation. Ross was not on acid. Ross was not hallucinating. Ross actually did walk into a basement when he was a kid, and there was a freaking tiger there.
I knew it. I knew that was a real memory in my head. I couldn't, like, it was foggy and fuzzy. And I'm like, man, maybe it was a dream. Doesn't seem like that was possible. So I fired off a text to my dad and my brother. I love my brother so much. I said, do you guys remember in the 80s, Dad taking us to some guy's house and he had a tiger in his basement? My brother says, if you remember, I was on one of my many war tours during the late 80s. War on drugs.
I was going to say, he didn't go to Grenada. I know he didn't go to Grenada. He wasn't at Heartbreak Ridge.
Dad said, Dad wrote back, yes, we did do that. Wrote the guy's name, everything.
That guy's still with us? That guy in jail. I'm thinking if you got
I'm guessing that guy ended up... You were making some very interesting life choices if you got a tiger in your basement, dude. That's say yes to life.
Do you put a sign out on the fence that says, beware of tiger?
Jay, I knew that. I was like, man, I think I talked about this one time before, but I didn't ever confirm it, I don't think. Love it.
Unbelievable.
What a great
Unbelievable. Memory. Quick reminder that, of course, Iowa plays Albany on Saturday. Ross and I are going to be live right after the game with the Black and Gold Rush live from the Iowa Lottery Studios. So for 2 or maybe 3 hours after the game, we'll be taking your phone calls, get your reaction from the Iowa-Albany game. We are looking forward to revamping what we started almost 10 years ago and continuing it on a different platform, and we want you to join us. So make sure to tune in on Saturday, live from the Iowa Lottery Studios for the Black and Gold Rush. And not just for the Black and Gold Rush, get ready all season long for... Well, it's the weekly. It's the weekly. Woo-hoo! That's right, the weekly woohoo. Brought to you by the Iowa Lottery. Woo-hoo!
The weekly woohoo.
That's right. So tomorrow we're going to kick off the weekly. Woo-hoo! And then we're going to have a winner. We're going to have weekly winners as the Iowa Lottery is celebrating 40 years of fun. 40 years of fun with the Iowa Lottery and the weekly. Woo-hoo! That's right. I'm never going to get sick of doing that. This week's prize pack, Ross, includes scratch, match, and win Jurassic World and Iowa Blackout scratch tickets plus some Mega Millions free play coupons. It's a value pack at $90. $90.
But it's, I'm not, isn't it more than that?
Well, there's so much. We got the scratch, match, and win promotion.
No,
you got the...
What I mean is, Travis, that like when you go to one of those gift exchanges, right? And it's like a $20 limit.
Yeah.
And somebody has a camping blanket. You're like, oh, that's a little camping blanket. That's kind of, and somebody's got like one of those over the shoulder coolers. And you're like, oh, a little $20 cooler. And then somebody pulls out $20 in scratch tickets. Everybody wants the scratch tickets.
Absolutely. Because scratch tickets are fun.
They are, dude. It's that hope.
You know what they make you do? You see a scratch ticket, and all you do is go, that's it. That's it.
How cool would this be if we had one of our winners get a $90 package like this, or how 1 week, and actually scratch off and win like $25,000?
That would be awesome. It'd make me go. Iowa Lottery is going to call us and say, "Hey, can you not play as much as you're playing it?"
Hey, go ahead and send that back.
So just some of the headlines here with Scratch Match and Win promotion celebrating 40 years of Iowa Lottery fun, up to $100,000 in cash prizes. You must enter non-winning Scratch Match and Win tickets into a VIP club before 10 a.m. on September 17th. You have the Jurassic World promotion, 5 winners of $10,000, 2 winners of a Hawaii trip with a chance up to $1 million. And you must enter those non-winning Jurassic World scratch tickets or Jurassic Park Progressive Instaplay tickets before 10 a.m. on October 1st. We have a Cyclone promotion and we have a Hawkeye promotion. Cyclone promotion is you can win an Iowa State versus Arizona State VIP suite experience with food and beverage and a parking pass. Cyclone athlete meet and greet, merchandise and spending money. Must enter eligible Iowa Mega Millions tickets into the VIP club before 10 a.m. on October 20th. And then, of course, we've got the Hawkeye Blackout promotion, entering non-winning Blackout scratch tickets. So if you win these scratch tickets, if they don't win, you can enter those for your choice of a Hawkeye football game experience. So this is all season long. We're going to make you go. Now, here's the deal. These are going to be so get ready for your weekly tomorrow, because we're going to do call-ins, right? I want to get the call-ins going. I'd like people to use the phone a lot more, but we want to welcome the Iowa Lottery on board, not just for the Rush Radio Show, but the Black and Gold Rush, as we are live from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
Love it.
That's right. You're going to get sick of me doing that. You know,
I like it right now.
No, because it makes you want to go woohoo. You know what else makes me go woohoo? 2 things have got me going woohoo today. The first one is I heard from dude from Iowa yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me this.
I wanted to save it for the show. Dude from Iowa is alive and kicking. Alive and kicking.
Good.
Here's the deal. He's been listening every single day. He's like, hey, I'm alive. And just to let you know, we did check obituaries from around central Iowa to make sure that he was still alive. But he wrote me back yesterday and said, hey, I've been listening every day. I've moved to the app because he has to work outside. He goes, I've been going to work a lot earlier before the heat kicks in. Remember last week? It was pretty darn hot. He goes, I'll be back on YouTube soon. Tell him not to miss me, but he's listening every single day.
Awesome. All right, well, good. That's part of that community. That's very cool.
So he probably heard us say, hey, we're checking obituaries, and maybe he felt obligated to write back.
We did spend a little bit of time, dude, yesterday morning. Travis told me your real name. And so we did Google your name, which, by the way, is a very common name.
Yeah.
Bill Smith type of name.
Yeah. It's like, man, how many of these can there be? Oh, there's a lot.
How many have died in the last? Oh, gosh, a lot. Like 3 in Iowa. And then we knew he lived in California, and that just blew it up because, man, lots of Bill Smiths dying in Cali. His name's not Bill Smith.
His name is not Bill Smith, so don't think it's Bill Smith.
Right.
But yeah, so he's with us.
Good deal.
The second one is, and I didn't know about this. I got a little tip yesterday, I think, on our Facebook Messenger, or it might have been a direct message on X. However, Mark Farley has a job. Mark Farley has a job. Former Northern Iowa coach Mark Farley, who, when we interviewed him, Ross, you'll remember this. We said, hey, you say you're retiring. Are you done coaching? Remember that? He goes, I'm not done coaching. Meaning he didn't retire last year. He was forced out. Okay, let's just say what it is, and he was forced out. You know where he's at? He's at Illinois.
No way.
Yes, Brett Bielema. And somebody tipped me off that Bielema mentioned it in his news conference on Monday. So this morning I got up and I was listening to the Brett Bielema news conference because I'm not going to spend my weeks listening to every Big 10 and Big 12 school head coach press conference. I'm just not going to do it. But he goes, hey, Bielema mentioned this. And I thought, well, would it be a big idea? Did he make a big deal about it or something? And I think it just went under the radar because he was talking about transfers coming into Illinois. And he goes, hey, we got this great kid from Northern Iowa that is coming in and contributing. We hired Mark Farley a couple of weeks ago to be on the staff. And that was it. And I'm like, what? On the
Very
staff?
Cool.
I can see where that's a good fit. Bielema and Farley.
Yeah. Dude, again, McCarney, Barry Switzer. You ever get a chance to meet Coach Woodley, Mike Woodley?
You know what, Mike, I think I met just in passing. I knew Andy. Andy was the strength and conditioning coach over at Creighton. So that's when I first met Andy.
Yeah.
So you know what? I think I've only met Joe once.
Oh, really?
I mean, in person.
They again, like when I think of that, I don't know what the right word is for it. What is the right word, Travis, for guys like that, for Mark Farley's, for Brett Bielema's? It's more than intense.
It's charismatic.
That's a good word for it. It's a dynamic word because it's a dynamic personality. There's something. Some coaches have that thing. You know what? I think all coaches do. When you're with Matt Campbell, when you're with Kirk Ferentz, you feel that. There's a charisma. That's a great word for it. Now, when they go in front of the cameras, they don't quite do the Mike Leach thing. They dial it down and they try to keep it close to the vest. But when you're around them, you go, oh
yeah. And when you have ultimate success is because I'm with you. I think most coaches, to be in that position, you have some kind of charisma to you. You have to win the interview, then you have to win over recruits. There's charisma
constantly.
The ideal situation is charisma and presence. There are certain people when they walk into a room and they go, and you go, oh, and I'm going back to my Nebraska roots, but you will admit this because he walked into the studio at the old place. Tom Osborne walked in and you went,
and I saw a shell. I saw a shell of the coach.
You go, oh, okay, I get it.
Yep,
I get it.
There are people like that.
Yes, 100%. Frank Solich was a friend of mine. Is a friend of mine. He didn't have the presence that Tom did, right? Dude. I mean, you go from Tom Osborne, who walked in the room and you just went like this. Even if you didn't like Nebraska, you went, okay, that's a pretty smart dude right there. And Frank was charismatic, but he didn't have that presence. Kirk Ferentz has a presence.
Agreed.
I think Matt Campbell, TJ Otzelberger has a presence.
Agreed. Yep. Good call.
Hayden Fry definitely had a presence.
Not at all.
So you can have charisma, but you have the other part. Luke Fickell doesn't have a presence. His presence is being very uncomfortable.
Dude, I was just getting ready to say, that reminds me of that thing we talked about in that first segment with Luke Fickell.
Speaking of Hayden Fry, it's Fry Fest this weekend, and somebody sent you an idea because you're going to be in Iowa City tomorrow.
I'm going to be in Iowa. I'm headed over to Iowa City tonight. I planned on doing the show from just my hotel room, right?
Yeah.
And then we got this message the other day about trying to maybe do it from the grounds of Fry Fest. Now I don't know if we're going to be able to do that at 5 a.m.
Call Brad Heinrich. Say, hey, Brad, here's the deal. Are you going to be in town for Fry Fest?
Pull some strings for me, Brad. Come on. Come on.
I bet he can. I bet he can.
Well, he would too. He would for us. But I guess I've never been over there. Is something happening before 8 a.m.? Or would I just be at the empty grounds?
Hey, everybody, Ross is live from Fry Fest where nobody's here yet.
From the Johnson County Fairgrounds. Live from a field in Iowa City.
Look at us. That's the hard part about doing a morning show, right? Is that we had a great time at JR South Fork Ranch, and I know Brooks Reynolds is watching right now. He's drinking a cold brew with special creamer, and you know, I love doing the show there, but it'd be great to do it in the afternoon when everybody's there. Or would it?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah,
it'd be incredible. Can I ask you about Brooks's creamer? Because you wrote back and were like, "Yeah, I love that." So I didn't know what we were talking about, and our listeners are going to find out here pretty soon. So I Googled it because I wasn't sure if that. I was like, "Is that like a thing? Do people put breast milk in their coffee?" So here's what.
So just to let everybody in on the joke. Here it comes. He goes, "I'm effing kidding." I know you're kidding. We knew you were kidding. Duh. So Brooks, we have an interesting relationship with Brooks, right? Brooks is fun. He's got a sense of humor like us. He goes, "Hey, I'm having a cold brew with breast milk creamer." And it was like, ha, 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 ha. And I wrote back, "Oh, I love me some breast milk."
Booker's right. I've mentioned this a few times. It's amazing how you can take normal things and say them out loud and they sound so creepy. It's a talent. It's a talent.
Thank you. But when you do it, it sounds really weird. For me, it's just expected. It's just expected.
I've been called a creep.
You're not a creep.
I'm been
a creep. I'm the creep here.
Agreed. I agreed. I think most people that say, "Hey, Ross, I thought you were creepy," they're like, "But then I got to know you. And now I know you're just weird." So breast milk creamer can refer to non-dairy coffee creamers that claim to taste like breast milk. Or it can see I did that? Or it can describe the practice of using actual breast milk as a creamer in beverages, though the latter is not recommended due to the milk's unique properties. It can also refer to lotions or ice cream products inspired by breast milk, but is not a general term for a type of dairy creamer. So anyway, there's my rabbit hole on breast milk creamers this morning. Thank you, Brooksy. Love you, buddy.
We do love you, Brooks. We love you. He's all like corporate now. You know, so he's protecting his brand. He's like, "This is a tangent." Oh yes, it's a tangent. We have a tendency to go off on tangents. We appreciate that. Thanks, Brooks. And Brooks is going to be joining us, I believe, on September 15th as he's winding down from his big fair extravaganza where they had another wonderful year at JR South Fork Ranch. So a week from Monday, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
2 weeks from Monday, he'll be joining us. Army's going to sell alcohol at its football games, Ross. Last service academy to authorize alcohol sales. Air Force did it in 2017. Navy did it in 2021. Army now going, we're going to sell alcohol. Just
okay.
Exactly. I mean, it's not really a new thing anymore. I think when you look at the service academies, you go, oh, okay. But here's what I like. They said, here's the deal. We're going to sell alcohol. And it's not like Army has, the budget of the United States government behind it. It has a little bit, but, the government's got other things to spend money on. They're going to use the portion of those alcohol sales to fund their other 29 sports, which makes – that's where you try to make up the gap. You go, hey, we got to fund these sports. We got to invest more into foot. I mean, getting a Service Academy scholarship, that's a big deal. It's a commitment. It's a big deal. And it's very hard.
And listen, they're not going to make bajillions of dollars selling beer.
No.
It's extra money. It's income they didn't have before. I think it's smart to do it. It adds to the experience of being at the game. Why not? Have you heard the thing of how many beers they're planning on selling in Lincoln?
I have not. Because alcohol sales is going to be allowed in Lincoln, Nebraska for the very first time. And they put this off for a long time because Tom Osborne has always been against it. But they're finally like, Tom, we need to sell beer.
So the internet went ablaze yesterday for a moment with this report that it says there is no official released or easily accessible statistic for the total number of beers sold per game at Nebraska Cornhusker football games, as alcohol sales at Memorial are a new initiative starting in 2025. But one report indicates that the stadium has stocked up to 121,000 cans of beer per game. They plan on selling 120,000 cans of beer per game. Now, let's just say you're getting a couple of bucks profit on that, and you're probably getting 5 at the least. That's $500,000 per game. That's $4 million, $3.5. How many home games do they have this year?
Probably 6, maybe 7.
$3 million. I tell you what, you got this new $20 million expenditure. They just knocked that down to 17.
Well, our resident, coming in from a guy who sells alcohol and food a lot, he said that's not enough. He goes, you should allot 3.5 beers per person.
And this is not even 2 beers per person, right? Because doesn't the stadium say
90,000?
Oh, Jesus.
Now, look at a quarter of that stadium's not going to be old enough to drink. Maybe a little bit more. I'd say probably a quarter because you got students in there. You'll have kids in there. But if you have 70,000 people that can drink, you're right. But not everybody's going to drink either.
Not everybody's going to drink, but if you have 70,000 drinkers and everybody buys 1.5, you just sold your...
The last thing you want to run out of beer, right? You don't want to go, sorry, we're out. Because people can be like, what do you mean you're out?
So let's talk money for a minute, because you're way better at this scaling up thing.
I'm really not.
You are.
Way more credit.
But Travis, you deal with these big numbers a lot more often than most of us do. Is $3 million a lot of money?
When you're looking, Ross, to add to the revenue pool, $3 million is a lot of money. It is. And it depends on what you use that money for.
So is this the type of math, though, that Jamie Pollard is doing? Because we talk a lot about Iowa State not doing this. So is it possible that Jamie, because they obviously aren't looking at making $3 million per game, or $3 million for the season. Let's say Iowa State would be looking at making $2 million for the season. Is it possible? Because Ross on the comment section says, hey, $3 million is one sober, rich donor. Is it possible that this is what's happening with Jamie Pollard? That Stein or somebody that makes the wheels move up there has said, I don't want alcohol in the stadium, and I will make up that difference if you don't allow it.
If that's the case, I totally understand it, and that's Jamie's prerogative to do it. However, is the well going to be, like the Ogallala aquifer and endless supply? Because it runs out eventually. It runs out.
What a good reference to the Ogallala aquifer, dude. That's freaking awesome. I love it.
And if you don't know what that is, Google it.
Oh, come on. If you don't know the Ogallala aquifer, what'd you learn in school? Did you even grow up in Iowa, in the Midwest? That's terrific, dude.
515-517-2303. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Todd Stepsis, head coach of the Northern Iowa Panthers, joins us on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, zero sugar, zero caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your local retailer today.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
At Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, we know that the only way to do business is the fair way. That means honest quotes, no surprises, and work that speaks for itself. From the first sketch to the final sweep, we keep you in the loop because communication builds trust, and trust builds beautiful spaces. Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes. Fair, skilled, thorough. Just the way it should be.
Summer break is winding down and school is starting. Done on the drop-off line this year with a new Chevy from Willis Chevy. For the month of August, you get 0% financing on select TurboMax Silverado 1500 trucks. And if an SUV is more your speed, you can take advantage of $299-month lease on the incredible 2025 Chevy Equinox. Get your back-to-school shopping done right at Willis Chevy in Granger, just 15 miles north of the metro. Stop into our showroom or visit us online at willischevy.com.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Good to have you with us on a Thursday. Getting ready for that first full week of college football. It's fall. If you're listening on the Rush Radio.com audio stream, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in on the Android app or the TuneIn app and watching on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, give our video a like, and start leaving your comments. Ross, it's always good to have back a friend of the show, and he's getting ready for his first game as the Northern Iowa head football coach. Joining us live from Cedar Falls, perched in his office in the Dome, head coach Todd Stepsis. What's up, Coach?
How we doing, boys? Good to be back on. Good to see you guys again. I can't believe it. 2 days away from the first game I've ever been to in here, so can't wait.
That's you looking good, feeling good. You feeling good about the team? Obviously, I mean, most coaches 2 days beforehand they're pretty amped about things. Where are your expectations right now for even this Saturday?
I'm a positive guy. So I have high expectations. I think I believe our team is going to play well. Now, is it going to be perfect? Is it going to be sloppy? It always feels like those first games are. All you had to do is watch the game in Ireland last week, where there's just stuff happens. It's hard to simulate real game feel, no matter how hard you try. I mean, you try to fabricate things in practice to add some pressure, add some intensity, but boy, nothing compares to when you're looking across the line of scrimmage at a guy that's wearing the wrong colors that you don't like. And so, everything kind of gets amped up there, and it's not going to be perfect. It never is, but I do believe our team's ready to go.
So I was wondering about this, and this is one of the right now, the majority of teams in the country think, oh, we're going to be pretty good. We're good. Is that hard to gauge how good you are when you're just practicing against your own guys week after week after week?
Yeah.
Just to go, where are we at?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Because, I mean, your offense has a good day. And so you're, hey, man, I think we got some weapons here. But maybe your defense just isn't that good, and vice versa. So like, you just never know. And then for me too, being familiar with the Missouri Valley, with some of the teams that we played from this conference and non-conference, in previous years. And, I know what those teams look like, but as far as, are we there yet? I don't know. It's just time will tell. And then again, how the team gels together, how they handle the pressure, when it now counts, all those things kind of factor into play. And then I always think the biggest deal is like, how does a team handle adversity? Because football is a really tough game to get right all the time with all 11 guys over and over again. So, when it doesn't go well, when the quarterback throws a bad ball and it gets intercepted, what's the response? When we give up a touchdown, what's the response? And so I think the teams that can figure out how to bounce back and take momentum back when it maybe gets stolen from them, those are the teams that end up being pretty good.
All right, you're trying to figure out your own team. How do you figure out your opponent? You mean because
he's coached against him. That's
true, right? I know those guys better than I know my guys.
You move up a level. Right. You're like, who are we playing first? Butler. Oh, this will be an easy scout. This is an easy scout.
Well, I tell you, this day and age, though, these opening games, man, it's just rosters turnover.
Yeah.
They've got a brand new coaching staff too, with the exception of a guy or two, and so you're familiar with some of the personnel that you played against a year ago. But then, new players are coming in. Players you thought were going to be there are now gone, and so it really does put an emphasis on the mirror and what you see every single day. So, hey, this is what we think we're going to see: offense, defense, special teams. This is who we think are going to be doing these things. But at the end of the day, if you're not focused on yourself, okay, who are our great players? How can we put them in positions where they're at their best? And then how can we make sure that they're involved early and often? If you're too worried about what your opponent's going to be doing, I don't know if it's going to be the outcome that you wanted. So that is the big thing. I think every week you got to have that kind of mindset where it doesn't matter who you're playing. It's about you and it's about what you do well. But that first week in particular, I'm about to make an old school reference, but I'll keep it PG. You remember the scene where they're in the counselor's office where Will Ferrell's like, looking at that waitress, I don't know what she's wearing. And that's kind of the mindset. You're walking in there and you're like, it could be something basic.
Could be something exotic
we've never seen before. And so like that's kind of how these first games go.
That is the best analogy for going into a first game. That's awesome. We're going to use that one. I like that one.
You mentioned the Iowa State game last week, and I'm flowing into a question for you with your own team. In week number 1, do you worry about your talent and what you have, or do you worry? Let's use Kansas State, penalized 8 times, had some killer drive, some drives killed, and some turnovers. Do you worry about the mental aspect and the execution of like, hey, don't get penalized, don't turn the football over, and you're going to be fine? It's that stuff you can't control. You know what talent you have. It's that other stuff that can really mess a game up pretty quick.
Oh yeah, because you try to simulate the operation of the game in practice as much as you can. You try to then make it tougher than maybe the game is going to be. So like for example, when we're going 11 on 11 drills at practice, we'll have that play clock going and we'll make it to where it's faster than it's going to be in the game. So
nice.
Now all of a sudden you're in the huddle and normally you would have 30 seconds to get that play called. Well, you're looking up and now it's at 18-17. So boy, we gotta call the play. We got to get to the line of scrimmage. We got to make sure everybody's set. We got to get our, so you try to make it harder from an operation standpoint, but boy, to your point, it's, as a coach, you got to be really detailed on all of those little type of like mental, we call them concentration penalties. Am I lined up on sides? If I'm supposed to be on the ball, am I on the ball? Is everybody set before we send a motion? If we have double or triple shifts, like where we moving 2 guys at the same time, we have to be really dialed into that as coaches in real time. But then also we got to make sure that we continue to correct those things every single day in meetings.
All right, let's talk about something you can't control. Somebody asked, is the dome going to be ready? When you look over your shoulder, are the crews out there?
The purple seats are there, man.
I see the purple seats in the background.
What's funny is I was wondering if the microphone could hear there's some machinery out there. And so, 7:10 in the morning, they're working. So that leads to me to think that, hey, there's a little bit of like, maybe, hey, we got to get this thing rolling. But, I would say the visitor side, which is where the new suites are look completely done to me. Like I see the TVs going right now. The premium seating that's right below the suites all looks done. All the purple seats. I don't see a whole lot of action over there. It's this other side. They're continuing to finish up the purple seats. There's some signage I think that needs to go up, but other than that, I think we're going to be ready to roll.
All right.
It sounds like you got a certificate of occupancy, so they're going to let people in the building. They may have to rope something off, say, "Hey, you can't sit here right now." But
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think we're gonna be open for business. Actually, we have to be open for business Friday because Waterloo, they're using the dome this year because of they're combining schools and I think their stadium that they play in is under construction, so it's got to be ready tomorrow.
Okay, stupid compliance rule. When a high school plays like in your stadium, are you allowed to go? I mean, obviously you can go to high school football games, but what is when a school comes and plays, are there restrictions? And I mean, say, hey, you're going to use the home locker room today, and you have a player from Waterloo. Let's deck this locker room out and just, hey, let's put a Panther jersey with his name on the locker. What are some of the rules you have to go through?
Just magically, like, oh, look at all that. I don't know how it got there. No, believe it or not, it's funny, like how loose everything has gotten in college football, but how tight other things are. So for example, we're still in August. So we're in a completely dead period where we can't see anybody. Like we're not allowed to talk to anybody. We're not allowed to go to any games. Like, so teams, like high school starts tomorrow. College coaches can't go to any of those games. So for us,
you're in your office.
If I'm sitting here and the game's going on, it's kind of like, what does that mean? I don't know. But I tell you that the rule that really is tough, especially now that, we're here and you've got the semifinals and the finals. Once one of your staff has gone to one of those games. So like, let's say, for example, I buzzed down to Des Moines and I watched Dowling versus Valley. I can't watch a game that Dowling is playing or Valley is playing, and nobody on my staff can watch that game the rest of the season.
What?
So then I know it is crazy. And so like for us, it's like, do you roll the dice? Okay, who's going to be in the semis and the finals? Let's just wait to watch them when they get here because it would be really cool. They're in our house, we're at the game, and all those kinds of things. But yeah, there's some rules that are super tight, and it's like, wow, we're really doing this. And then there's, obviously other things that the gloves are off and it's no.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, compliance officer, Coach Stepsis was in his office doing actual work while the game was behind his shoulder. We don't know if he turned around and looked or not, but that's what
we asked him to close the blinds. So,
but he heard a massive roar from the crowd, and it got his attention that he had to look. And lo and behold, a possible recruit was going 50 yards for a touchdown. Just might have happened.
Yeah. I heard a roar. I thought there was a fire. I looked out the window because I thought there was a fire.
Right. Yeah. What do I got to do? I got to get out of here, man. People are screaming. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's wild. That I had no idea about the scene. The entire staff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One guy, and it's both teams. So it's bonkers.
So you can't even send a couple of coaches to evaluate a player?
No. So like,
I see one player.
Yeah. Well, just so, I probably didn't describe right. So if the whole staff could go to that game, so you can have everybody there, but it's one time and it's one and done. And so
I see. Okay.
So like a lot of times what we've done in the past is we try to find the matchups, all throughout the season and be like, okay, let's go to this game. But then they play this team this next week, so we can't go to that game. So when can we see that team play? And so you have to, it's a little bit of a jigsaw puzzle, figuring out how to make sure that you get to some of these games and watch some of these prospects.
You just gave me an idea. Have you ever wanted a guy so bad that you just said, screw it. The entire staff is going to go to the game and stand on the sideline and just go, this is how bad we want you. We brought everybody.
We've definitely done a whole side of the ball. So like the whole offensive staff to watch like a quarterback or something. Yeah, we've definitely done that. And you stand out when you're on the sidelines too, because high schools are great. In this state in particular, if you call ahead of time, hey, I want to come out and check out Jimmy and Joe. They're like, oh yeah, we'll put you and the staff on the list, and anybody that it's with you, they'll be able to get in. You can get on the sidelines, and everybody's really accommodating. So if you want to bring your crew, you can.
You're going to be tuned in tonight to watch the old team.
Oh, of course. Gosh, I'm looking forward to watching some of my old boys. They still a lot of really good players on that team, guys I love very dearly. The 4 captains were announced, and I don't know if this was a compliance problem or not, but I reached out to congratulate them. I'm not tampering, I promise. They're just really good guys that
he just looked out the window.
Yeah.
They're in my contacts list. What do you want me to do?
Well, their birthdays are on my phone, so when their birthday it pops up.
But
one of the captain's birthday was like a couple days ago, so I was like, "Geez."
You bring up a good point. We had Dan McCarney on last week, and he hadn't coached at Iowa State for a long time, but he just talks about how he maintains that relationship with former players. And we joke about coaching and how it's become so corporate and all this stuff, but at the core of it, it is about relationships. And no matter where you coach, whether it was at Drake or now, you're going to have that relationship probably for the rest of your life with those guys.
Oh man, I missed. I always make fun of my former players that get married in the fall, and I get an invitation. I'm like, come on, guys, what are we doing here? That I can't make it in the fall. Tell your future bride to get your priorities straight, and then I really quickly say, happy wife, happy life. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
and
but you realize what they're doing there is just looking for a gift. If they're sending you an invite to a fall wedding, it's just like, hey, if we just send one to Coach Stepsis, he's going to send us a nice gift.
Right. But I tell you, they're a former player of mine. Graduated in 2015. Dubuque. He's getting married during our bye week, so I'm going to try to sneak over there on that Saturday because you hit it on the head. If you ask any coach worth anything, what's the best part of his job? It's that. There's awesome memories on the field and championships and big wins and all of those things are fun, and football's an amazing sport. But boy, to be a part of the journey, from start to finish, and then to continue to be that person's biggest fan for the rest of their lives, and for them to want to celebrate with you, to get those fun text messages about a wedding, a birth, a job promotion, a big move, whatever it is, stopping by, swinging through, that is by far why we do what we do. And so, it's college football is a little bit, wonky right now, but I think at its core, it still remains that way. Like it is about, relationships and making a difference and making an impact and being a part of each other's lives. In any capacity, not only while they're here, but forever.
Coach, I'm constantly pushing back. College football is in a weird place right now. I'm constantly pushing back on it's the death of college football, that it's all going to go away. College football is still healthy and strong, and most of it is exactly what you're talking about. The money at the top has just really muddied the situation, it seems like.
Yeah, and you never really hear about the good. You always hear about the problems. It's just kind of with everything. It's anytime anybody tells me something like, hey, one of your players, helped me and held the door for me. That was really great. Like, I never hear stuff like that. Like, I always hear about like when so-and-so screws up and so-and-so's wrong. And so like the attention always gets on all the bad stuff where, boy, there's so much good going on in college athletics. There really is. And again, at its core, it stays how it should be. And I do think eventually once we get the guardrails on everything and we get things figured out, it'll get back to.
I'm with you on that. I like that attitude.
As you get ready to take on Butler, before we let you go, where are you sitting right now? Do you think the defense is farther along than the offense, offense farther along than the defense? And just a couple names people should pay attention to as the season gets started, because we're going to know a lot more about the Panthers after this week and heading into Wyoming next week. But where are you sitting? Where do you feel comfortable right now?
Defensively, I always feel really good. Being a former defensive guy, even though the last few years I've been working with the offense. I think we have a lot of depth at the defensive line. We've got Jack Krebs, Jackson Storts, Owen Ostrowski. Those are going to be three names. They're going to be on back there a lot, but we're going to probably play 11 to 12 defensive linemen. So anytime you have some depth up front, you feel really good going into a season. Hopefully it stays that way, but we all know that it doesn't. Tucker Langenberg's an Urbandale kid, and he's one of our captains. Wouldn't surprise me if he's one of the league leaders in tackles. He's great. But then we had a mid-year guy, grad transfer, Ryan Crandall, who's also a Des Moines kid from Ankeny. He's super active. He's going to be really, really fun to watch. Secondary wise, we've just got, again, a ton of talented guys that can run and hit. Mo Wolo is really good. Fletcher Marshall, Arson J. March, another great guy. So that side of the ball has some depth and some talent. Feel really good. Offensively, Matthew Sheckelman's our starter. We have some change-up quarterbacks that have some different skill sets, so that'll be fun to feature those guys. Which sometimes backup quarterbacks don't really get to do a ton. Where I want to make sure to keep them involved, but Sheck's got all the tools. He can throw it a mile. He can scramble. He's 6'3", strong. Derek Anderson is our captain on offense. He's our starting tight end, 6'6", 255. Runs really well. We've had pretty much almost all the pro scouts in to see him. So he's got the measurables to maybe make it after this year. He's a fifth-year senior. We've got Tay Norman, who's a local kid who's done a great job on the edge. We've got quite a few receivers. Aiden Price, another mid-year guy that looks like he's going to do some damage for us. Tyson Kershaw is another big receiver on the edge that is awesome. We feel like we have a pair of really good backs. Harrison Bay Bowie has been here for a couple years. Bill Jackson's a mid-year guy from Tulsa. Another awesome kind of 1-2 punch that we have in the backfield. And up front, we're old. We've got three guys with quite a bit of experience. The other two that we think are going to start are just, they're older, so at least they're physically mature. They're going to probably take some lumps here in the beginning, just getting their feet wet when it's real. But overall, that's going to be great. Noah Pettinger's our punter. He's got awesome ability to flip the field. Max Bartacek, gosh, he's pretty consistent.
How do you remember all these names? This is year one. This is impossible. I'm sitting there going, you just reeled off the whole depth chart. I'm like, I can't remember the guy I met. I've known for 4 years. I'm sitting there going, okay, he's gone through the whole depth chart. You've only been there, 8 months or whatever. I'm like, that's impressive.
I thought Travis was going to say, all right, I'm sick of it. Who's the worst guy on the team?
Okay.
Everybody's
awesome. Who if we see out there, we know that we're in trouble. There you go. And
all right,
then I
Coach.
get an email like, who are you talking about?
All right, Coach. We're going to ask you right now because it's better just put you on the spot because it's easier for you to just say yes and sure. Do Thursdays at 7 a.m. work for you on a weekly basis? Can we do this weekly?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Love to have
awesome.
it. This is perfect timing. Always enjoy talking to you guys. It's a lot of fun for me.
And
Thanks a lot,
just to let
Coach.
you
We do
know,
too.
and I'm going to pay you a compliment here. We ask because you're entertaining. And there's a lot of people like, let's not do that one again. You're entertaining.
Yeah.
You get us. And that's what makes it fun. And if you can come with a new movie reference from every week, that would be even a bigger bonus.
Hey, and I love that we're kind of similar generationally. So you're going to get my movie references where our players do not. I think I'm hilarious and I'll reference something and they'll all look at me kind of cross-eyed like, what was that? So we do have one player, Jackson Daly. He's a Southeast Polk kid. He's got an old soul. And so, man, he knows all the movies. And so he and I, man, we get one another.
That means he had good parents. That means he had good parents that made him watch those movies.
Good on his parents.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right, Coach.
Thanks so much. Go get him.
And
All
we'll
right,
see
man.
you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Todd Stepsis joining us live from the Unidome where the construction is taking place as we speak to get it finished up.
Are they going to be done by Saturday? He looked over his shoulder. I hear machines.
Have they asked your players or yourself to pick up a hammer?
He can't sit in his office and watch a game that's happening behind him.
See, and to me, that's the information I think that is so important. And you think he falls in that. Kirk Ferentz falls in that. Matt Campbell falls in that. Joe Woodley falls in that. Because if you go watch that team once, no more.
What the hell? And then we wonder why a Connor Stallions thing happens.
Exactly.
Like they put all of these rules in place, and a coach just wants to learn information about a kid. Now, let's just have the conversation real quick here before we get Bruno on. Because I was thinking about it in my head as we were talking too. Like, there's a reason that rule has to exist. And is that rule in place so that, like, a Jim Harbaugh doesn't show up every week at a school?
You know what? Here's the deal, Ross. If you want to recruit a kid, I have no problem with you going every week to watch that kid.
That's where you want to spend. I'm with you.
I mean, you're getting to invest hundreds, if not millions of dollars into a kid to come to your program. And when I talk millions, I'm talking education, all the training tables, all that stuff. And plus, hey, we're going to find a way to. If that's the guy I want, I'm going to watch him every single week.
Southeast Polk has become a factory these last couple of years. A factory. And so now a team has to say, okay, do we want to go watch Southeast Polk play Dowling? Like, I mean, I understand you got to plan your weeks anyway, but then you got to, okay, so if we watch Southeast Polk Dowling, I don't know if they play each other, but then we got to make sure that we don't go watch Dowling Valley or Southeast Polk Valley, but we got 19 kids on Southeast Polk that we're trying to recruit.
515-517-2303. Let's go to Booker. Booker, welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on, Booker?
Hey, what's up, guys? Love your show.
Thanks, brother.
Hey, I had a question for Coach Woodley that I was wondering if you could ask him next week, I guess.
Oh, hold on. Coach Woodley or Coach Stepsis? Coach Woodley or Coach Stepsis?
Stepsis. Okay. I'm sorry. I got Woodley on my brain, I think. I was just wondering if they sold beer or alcohol at the Unidome, because I don't know if they do or not. I haven't been to the Unidome for a long time. And if they do, what does that money go into the general fund? Or, I mean, do they do NIL deals with that money? Or I was just curious, wondering if you guys knew that.
I only know the first part of your question, Booker, and I'm going to go off the information that came through our chat today, because somebody did ask that question. Do they sell beer at the Unidome? And a UNI fan wrote in and said, yes, they do sell beer at the Unidome. It's $7 or $8 per beer. But that, I don't know where that money funnels to. I would assume that's more into like a general football fund or athletic fund.
Maybe they're just general athletic fund because they need money.
Yeah, right. Desperately.
Gotcha. And hey, I got another question for you guys, if you got a minute.
Sure. Yeah, fire away.
Is there going to be an Iowa Lottery Rush Radio scratch ticket? Because I think there should be, and I should be able to walk into my local Casey's and say, I'll take a Powerball and a couple of Rush Radio scratchers. And if they do make one, you guys need to send them to a certain radio station and say, hey, I know you guys were hurting for money. Here's a couple of scratchers for you. Hopefully you can win big.
You know him a lot better than I do, Ross. Do you say, hey, what are the odds of getting a Rush Radio scratch-off ticket?
Matt Strawn, you're talking about?
Yeah. How hard would it be to do a limited edition? One run.
500 tickets.
500 tickets. Let's just do a special 500 ticket allotment and just 25.
And here's the deal. None of them can be winners. That'd be even more fun. They don't even have to have any winners.
I love you guys. Love your show.
Thanks,
Booker.
I'm going to say the odds of that happening are probably slim and none, and Slim just left town. But it would be awesome if we could make it come true.
I think that, I mean, seriously, if we had 500 of them and none of them were winners, and we just told people up front, hey, you can scratch this off, but there's no woohoo.
Charlie says, the Rush Lotto tickets, scratch where it itches.
That's a fun idea. Booker, I like it.
Good job, Booker. We're big ideas here. We have a lot of big ideas. A lot of them don't come to fruition. But this show has come to fruition. The Black and Gold Rush has come to fruition. And Bruno joining us next on the Rush Radio Show is coming to fruition because he just entered the studio.
It's fortuitous. It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening next on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's $25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge. I love working with guests because I'm a people person. I love helping solve issues.
I like working with guests is the little conversations you have back and forth prior to what you recommend. People from other parts of the United States, you know.
All the guests are super nice. They're very friendly.
Just meeting new people along the way, I think it's kind of fun.
My favorite part working about Willis is the environment. I love all my coworkers.
The cars we see here, I'm a very, I like the old vintage cars that we get.
Honestly, I just love the culture here. I love that it feels like it's a family-run company, because it is.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hey, it's Marion with Willis Volvo Cars. With all those miles you put on your car over the summer and any last-minute road trips you have before school starts, your car might be ready for maintenance. Come on down to get an alignment for $179.95 and $25 off an oil change. Give us a call or schedule online at willisvolvocars.com.
Rush, strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Pump it up with unleaded 88. It's cheaper, cleaner, and a greener fuel choice. Make it a clear winner at the pump, so pump it up with unleaded 88. Go to iowacorn.org for more. Thank you for spending your Thursday morning with us. We appreciate it. And, of course, every single Thursday, the one, the only family man, the family man, Bruno joined us. Did you see? Bruno got some family photos. You were styling, profiling, looking good, my man.
Yeah, I guess
sure. Look at him.
I guess people are still on the Facebooks.
I am on the Facebook. I live on the Facebook.
And listen, when you get photographed by photographer for the Stars, Chris Meharry, you know what you've signed up for. I mean, it's like going to the fair wearing a mullet. The picture's going to get out there. So,
No, I know he is Des Moines photographer.
I had dinner at the library just the other night, Bruno. I see you're wearing your library T-shirt.
Yes. Love the library. Everyone, I do. It's like everything else. I kind of have to remind myself I can go over there every now and again because it's just right there. People say, "Oh, you're going to be in big trouble living that close," and sometimes it does present itself. But I can say, if I overindulge, I can just walk around the corner. Like a lot of my neighbors get to go there, enjoy it in the neighborhood. It's so great. And I was talking about it yesterday too. We don't have many of those in Des Moines.
No.
There's some towns that have these little bars everywhere. These old grocery stores and all that stuff. We have spots. There's spots on the southeast side. There's some, near the fairgrounds. There's a couple. But this one right here is one of the few that's in the western part of town, western part of Des Moines, I would say. But so I love it. I love it that it's there. We were trying to talk about, somebody wanted to know if we wanted to expand. I'm like, no, we don't want to expand. It's perfect size.
Perfect parking lot. Travis, it's one of those spots you pull in. If there's not a parking spot, there might not be a booth inside. So if there's a parking spot, there's room inside. Come on in.
But then when you walk inside, even there's parking spots on the street.
Yeah.
Like on the busiest days, Saturday and Sunday brunch, we have the best breakfast. You walk in, you're like, oh, and he's like, hey, well, I'm here. And they're like, hey, 5-10 minutes, we'll get you in. It is just slowly churns. Everyone seems to get in there. Rarely do we have a line out the door waiting to get in. It's just the right amount of people come, and it's amazing.
I want to ask you about the outside of the building, Bruno. The west side of that building is a giant mural. There's several of those around town. They're really cool. How does that come about? Do you guys commission an artist? Does an artist reach out to you? Did the city say, hey, this is something we'd like to have to beautify the neighborhood? Well, how did that come about?
There's a lot of good artists in town, but Chris Vance and I have a friendship that's been going on for quite a while. I really like how he does his stuff. Chris and I worked out a deal. He gave us a heck of a deal. Like, you don't get a deal like that, like we got, but we've done a lot of stuff. And if you come, my house, I think I have 7 of his pieces.
Oh, wow.
My wife just bought a piece at just a little tiny one at the art show this year. I just was in contact with his daughter. We're looking to hire her at one of our places. He's like, I want to ask you a favor. I'm like, oh, what do you want? And honestly, right away, anything. And he's like, oh, my daughter's looking for a job. I'm like, hey, I can do that. And so she'll be showing up at our places. 2 of his other kids work at Simon's.
Oh yeah, love Simon's.
His kid busses tables, and he goes, I don't know if I'm ever going to get him out of there. He makes so much money bussing tables, and he really likes it. And a lot of Chris's art's there too. But I'll tell you how to get it really done, and that's we have that big Dogtown mural at Lucky Horse. We have other things like that, and it is through Moberg.
Oh, TJ Moberg and Moberg Gallery.
And Ryan Mullen. Those guys bring in. So the guy who did our mural at Lucky Horse is from London, and halftime in
But TJ connected you with this London artist to do it.
They're like, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Chris Vance in town, and they actually rep him, but they're like, you can't have the same guy doing the same stuff all over, same person. So you want a little varied, and so we got this guy, and it's been amazing. The Invest DSM folks help us pay for that and get it up and do our patio.
That's cool. Okay, so there is a little bit of skin in the game from the city too for the beautification. Cool.
I was on the phone with Invest DSM yesterday. We're looking at trying to do something with the lot next door. It's kind of been an abandoned lot. And their Invest DSM was talking to me about it. And we're actually doing some fixing and things through them again. It's really great partnership.
That's cool.
They do a great job to help us out. So
here's what I like about murals, and that is they almost become tourist attractions in themselves if you do them right. I'm going to give a local reference for me. If you go to Nebraska City, it's home of Arbor Day, right? That's where they have the tree. But downtown is all murals all over the place. And I just went down there and went mural to mural because there's something about the artwork that you're like, it's almost part of like you do the architectural tour, right? I mean, those are cool, but you see cool paintings, and if they're kind of scattered close together, you can put a nice little walking tour together and go,
yeah.
Oh, then you go, hey, let's go inside. Let's go eat. Let's go shop. Do something like that.
There are a ton of towns that have done that, and some of them are, I think Clearwater in Florida is amazing. There's some towns that like have really leaned into it and encouraged and done whatever they can to make it happen. I think they're cool. Van Holmgren does a lot here in town. I really like that guy too. I have art of his in my house. He's a great guy. I think he's a partner in Up Down or works at Up Down, but he did the Either Or mural. That's his kind of flavor. It's great. And then there's so many other ones that I couldn't possibly mention or know. But yeah, I love it. I wanted to, we have Willis as a sponsor here, and you go to the dealership and say, hey, that Cadillac's real nice. Like to give it a whirl. They like need a little information, but they hand you the keys, you go drive. Well, Ross, I wanted to ask you what you think of there's a new push by home buyers are pushing for sleepovers before buying property.
Hell no.
Try it before you buy it. If you can drive a car and out of the lot, why not test drive a home?
No. No. You're not freaking sleeping in my house if I'm still living there trying to sell it. F no.
Well, it's like Airbnb in a way, but
but
a little bit.
House up for an Airbnb. If I'm, hey, can we stay the night here before we buy it? No.
Well, then thank you. No, but I'm not going to buy your house, Travis.
Fine.
Now I will caveat here: the one night stay in a $14.6 million Hollywood Hills spec house was the part there. I just thought I was like, that is
listen,
crazy town.
I don't find it as crazy as you brought it instantly. I'm with you, Travis. I can't imagine a seller actually be there's so many scary things if you opened this door. Squatting is a very real thing that happens around America, where somebody could say they could show a false pretense to get the access to your home, and then you have to try to physically remove them.
Ross, here's what I want you to do. On your next meeting with a potential seller, just out of randomly, just say, would you be open to a sleepover for potential buyer? Just throw it out there and see what they say.
Now, this is a little out of the box thinking here, but it seems like you're kind of liking it. And I think what might put you over is, would you like to have a sleepover? I got a few sleeping bags out in the car.
Hey, I'd like to sweeten this deal a little bit for you. Okay.
You know how we could really sell this fast?
How about a sleepover?
Okay, I got a 2 for today, which is a little over the top.
By the way, that's one of the best ones you've brought in a long time. Not saying they're not all entertaining. That was a good one.
Well, there's people that think out of the side of the box. There's people that kind of do what they want to do. They kind of take advantage. They live outside the box. They do things that until somebody says don't do it, they do it. And then Ross with the squatting and the rules that come up. Unclear the concept is the title of the reference to what seems to be obvious enough policy. Starbucks Korea posted signs in all the shops across the country warning customers that they may no longer bring desktop computers and printers to the locations to work. United Press International reported Starbucks.
Hold on. I'm going to do something really weird. Can you imagine bringing like all this
to a Starbucks?
Jesus.
Setting up this August 11th, they said Starbucks has also banned setting up large partitions and leaving valuables at the table for long periods of time. The targeted customers are known as it's a Korean word, Konga joke, which combines a Korean word for cafe, study, and tribe. Starbucks policy made it after other customers complained about cafe squatters taking up too much space. Laptops were still welcomed. I find that when sometimes I don't understand how a coffee shop works, the concept, because you go in 20 tables, 20 people.
Yeah,
you know what
one
I mean?
person sitting at a 6-person
one
table.
cup of coffee that's only bringing you
that's
$1.50 in profit.
Yeah, and just that people they just don't partitions. Printers.
People brought in desktops, printers, and partitions. They set up an office. They set up a cubicle inside of Starbucks, and then left valuables there so that other people knew this is my workspace.
It's the equivalent of the beach towel at the resort.
Well, because they were like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Well, I was renting an office from Regis. Have you guys ever heard of Regis?
Yeah, we have a couple of these places.
$300 a month. I could just set up here and stay. But listen, whether you're a coffee shop or something like that, people abuse that privilege.
Yeah.
Now, they can say, well, I come here every day and I buy a cup of coffee and a roll. Yeah, but you're there for 4 freaking hours.
Yeah.
I need to turn these tables over, right? I mean, when you're in the restaurant business or something, the key is turn tables over, quality service, quality food, but do it fast so the next people can take that seat.
Yeah, no, I think the answer is I think there's something wrong with the Wi-Fi today. Sorry. I don't.
Shut it off.
No, I just don't. I've never understood the economics of a coffee shop exactly when the the smaller the footprints, the better way to go. To have a few people, I'll tell you. Speaking of Meharry, there's a place called Daisy Chain downtown. I really love.
Absolutely.
And I think about 75% of the time I go there, he is in a meeting with somebody having a coffee, which is great.
I've been at meetings at there with him.
Yeah, and they roll through there. People roll through. They stay busy. And I guess I didn't bring this. I wasn't going to bring this up, but I am going to bring it up. At the Empire, we've decided to open at 7 a.m. We are going to do coffee, and we are going to. It's a thing I'm trying to work out. But here's the deal:
Irish coffee.
Well, yeah, we'll be able to do Irish coffee. We're going to do our version of the library lattes, which is iced coffee, vanilla vodka, rum chata, and Bailey's. It's one of the hottest things at the library. We're going to do that, but we're going to also, we had a time in the slot in the day where from 7 to 10:30, say, we would not even be open. So we already rent the space. Why not have them come in? There isn't a coffee shop within 5 blocks of where we're at, excluding a Starbucks. There happen to be 3 Starbucks within the 10-block radius. It's crazy. But I think you either go to Starbucks or you don't. And sometimes I think they set them up as we don't care if we do that much business. They just open them up and hope that the business backfills,
Yeah.
Unlike most national chains. But so we're going to do coffee, and we talked to Ritual Cafe just closed. That was on the western end of the gateway, and then we invited Denise Diaz to come work with us.
Oh, nice.
So pretty excited about that. The Empire is coming along. We're going to be open in a couple weeks. We're also going to bring people over at the Royal Miles Historical Happy Hour to check out the new space.
I have that. 10th. Hold on. That's September 10th, right?
September 10th, we're going to be doing that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. So, make sure you put that on your calendar. It doesn't cost anything to go. We were so busy last time. Ross can attest. We had people. We turned away at least 50 people because we were so full up.
And I got to the one. I was able to get to the one for the Iowa Tap Room, which by all accounts was not quite as fascinating as the Royal Mile one, and I was blown away by it. I loved it. And I've used the information I got from that in a handful of conversations since then.
There are so many. As I kind of dig in and look at this stuff, there's so many things that cross over, and I'll probably bring out things that I learned recently that I cannot believe. I'm not from Des Moines. I moved here in 92. I moved here 2 weeks before the floods, 93, whatever that was. And I can't believe how much in the time I've spent here, how much my life is intertwined with the city and what I've done and what we do, the buildings I've been in, the buildings I've lived in. It's crazy how it intersects. And then one of our regulars, one of our great guys that comes to the Royal Mile, Ryan Ellsworth, is an architect here in town at the old fire. He's in the old fire department, number 1. That's where his business is, and he has all this. He just loves all this old information. He loves the Royal Mile. So you combine those two, and it's just a fun talk, and it's great. I can't say enough about it. I was blown away. I've owned the place for 24 years. I didn't know half. I didn't know 1/5 of what he talked about. That's cool. It was extraordinary.
September 10th. And Betty asked, where is the Empire located again? That's the old Fong's building that's across the street from the Royal Mile on 4th Street in downtown.
In the Elliott. 1905, a Mr. Matt Kane had Matt Kane's Buffet at the Kirkwood Hotel. A buffet is an old term to use for you get food with your drinks, but it was a place where gentlemen at that time hung out. There's an article in the Des Moines Register that said he has decided to move his operations across the street to 223 4th Street, and he's opening up the Empire Bar. He's going to have the same standards of quality in a new location. The Empire opened up in 1905. There's tile in the floor. It says Empire when you walk in the front door. It closed in 1906 because of Prohibition, which you'll hear a little bit about how Prohibition affected Iowans a lot differently in Iowa, because we had about 7 of them in our history that sometimes coincided with national prohibition, but sometimes
we had 7 prohibitions.
Yeah, there was certain times where they were very much trying to get rid of alcohol in the state of Iowa for a really long time. So, yeah, he got to be open for a year and it went away. And then that space, that whole bottom floor of most hotels, it was a hotel at the time. Now it's but anyways, apartment now, and a lot of times on that main floor, that's been a Chinese King Lo, the 101-year-old Chinese restaurant. It's been a barbecue place that took up the whole bottom floor. There's some kind of cafe because in the middle room, in the tile it says cafe. It was the Empire Bar. It's been quite a few things too. That whole street had, and you'll find this out, but I'll say from Capitol Square to the railroad, there were 29 hotels.
Wow.
Just in that stretch. It said that's where Kerouac got off the train, and somewhere on 4th is where he stated the most beautiful women in the world are from Des Moines. So
were all the hotels on the up and up?
They were. I mean, that's just how they did it. They were always right next to the train station.
You know what I mean, right?
Well, in the 70s, if you're looking for some action, yeah, there's some pretty good ones.
Yeah.
There was some hourly rental. There was the whole downtown in the 70s was there's a lot of peep shows and strip clubs and adult bookstores. It was literally filthy with them.
Like it was all like Travis's neighborhood.
What was it? The old 1538? Is that what it was? 1538 grand?
No.
1536?
Yeah, 1536.
Yeah, I went there.
Yeah, for a massage.
No, that wasn't massage. That was like a stage show.
You should. He's going to tell you exactly why he was there and what he saw. And pretty soon we'll be talking about Tijuana. And you don't want any of this. You don't want to know any of it. Okay?
Royal Mile was a strip club.
Really?
It was the Rendezvous, or no, the Blue Garter.
Let's have it as a history night some night. Maybe it's a retro night at the Royal Mile. We're going to relive our history. One night only. Naked ladies.
Now I say strip club, burlesque, the fans and the well, it's never thought about this, but we sell pasties now. But
what?
The women pasties are women. It's a meat-filled pastry invented for minors to carry their food. Pasties, but the girls back then wore pasties, and we have a lot of people. We have to teach our staff. It's not. It looks like pasties, but it's pasty, like pasta. Anyway, so yeah, we had those there. So that wasn't a full on nude, but about as good as you need. Anyway,
sorry, I didn't mean to digress.
Lots of our places will not be open on Labor Day. There are some that our hours are different. Open for normal hours at the Chicken. Truman's is open 9 to 3 for breakfast and pizza only. The Royal Mile, as always, will have the bar open at 5 p.m. to 2. Everywhere else is closed. We are making a few pizzas at Fong's for the Grandview Soccer over the weekend. David Groves has got us doing a couple times for that. He's got people in town, teams in town for Grandview Soccer, so check that out. Last night had the pepperoni black garlic and pineapple with hot honey on top pizza at the Fong's.
That's the August pizza of the month.
So good.
It's fantastic.
Spicy margarita is also the special. Those are all going to be changing. We're about ready to change the month. So next week we'll talk about the new specials. The Chicken has a BOGO pizza night on Wednesdays. That's always been a busy night. And last week of the Sunday brunch at the Chicken. So lots of chicken stuff. Of course, you can watch NFL, but there's tons of soccer. We have tons of people coming to watch soccer. Lots of new fans for different teams have come in. And it's been really fun. And we're in our third week coming up, third week of the EPL, and we're running into time for the MLS playoffs and all that's coming up. So come on down and watch some soccer and
enjoy your night.
Enjoy, yeah. And hey, I will tell you, like the good one. Lots of the weather's right now for sitting on a patio. And of course, we got patios all across the company. By the way, the Royal Miles patio, we're hoping to make that the patio for the Empire for if you want to have coffee. So when you get your coffee, you can walk across. A lot of my friends.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Carl Voss and a couple of the guys I ride bikes with, we used to go to the Ritual, and then we go to the city park across the way and sit. So back in the day, Java Joe's, we had a deal. They'd walk, their customers would walk and use our patio. They didn't have a patio either. So you'll be able to bring, your stuff there. We're going to have breakfast items and,
Cool.
of course, coffee. And Denise Diaz worked 30 years ago at Java Joe's. She ran the place, and then she decided to go do her own thing. And now we're welcoming her back to 4th Street. Stay tuned
Very
for
cool.
press release and all that stuff. So it's gonna be great. Most drinks at the Empire are gonna be between $4 and $6,
which is awesome.
And we said that, but I just wanted the value is we're a value focused company. I'm actually meeting Ken Payne today. We're going to talk about how we can start getting the word out a little bit more. If people don't know, we give a great value for your buck. And
I saw one of the guys in the comment section talking about Fong's, dude. Fong's has become one of my favorite lunch spots. The lunch special there is fantastic, and you can get like a frequent flyers card. I've got like a lunch card that they punch out.
A lot of our places do that. I know the library does. You can get a library card. A lot of our places do that, and we'd like to see people in for lunch. And I'm telling you, yeah, I couldn't possibly own a place that I wouldn't want to spend the money at. I want to feel like I got a deal and I'm the owner. I can't go to a place where they without any hesitation hand you a bill for your meal and you're not even full and it's over $100. It's just not who I am. It's not what the companies I want to run. And I think a lot of people right now would appreciate a little break on their food. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. All right, Bruno, have a good weekend, buddy. We'll talk to you next Thursday.
You bet. Take care.
All right. Hey, don't forget, Iowa Lottery, now part of the Rush Radio Show and the Black and Gold Rush. Tomorrow, we're going to have...
Hit the button.
Your weekly woohoo. I had it, but I have to go to a different bank.
Music.
And,
okay. That's all right.
We're going to play it a lot tomorrow. I'm going to try to get it on this bank. We'll figure out how I make that work. But yes, so get ready for the weekly woohoo. We're going to have you call in, win a prize back from the Iowa Lottery. We'll go through more of that tomorrow. So everybody, have a great Thursday. We're back tomorrow, 6 a.m. to finish off what is the start of a 3-day weekend. Fast. And Ross is live from Iowa City tomorrow. Will he be at Fry Fest?
Probably not.
Probably not. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
It's Body Armor. Real hydration with electrolytes. No artificial dyes and coconut water. Choose better. Body Armor.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the RushRadio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Sean McFarland, Service Manager here at Mini of Des Moines. It's August, and while most of Iowa has shifted their attention to corn dogs and butter cows, us here at Mini of Des Moines are still focused on making sure your Mini is running properly and well-maintained. Please give us a call or schedule your appointment online at miniofdesmoines.com.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links.
With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.